Hello and welcome to Sideline Story, your destination for sports news, analysis and discussions. I'm Yang Guang. Of course, today we will stick to the football topics and unpack some questions about the two popular continental tournaments in Europe and America. We will touch on the hottest teams, the shocking results, and how we perceive the two different styles of football. I got our co-hosts Fu Yu and Tian Yu joining me for the discussions. All right. I guess for football fans like us, it has been a dream summer.
Yeah.
Copa America plus Euro 2024. It's like having two flavors of pizza at the same time in dinner, which is my favorite. Can't ask for more. And I hope fans in China got some good rest these days because
Definitely.
in China, to watch both tournaments means you need to glue yourself to the TV from 3 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Ask Tian Yu about it. I'm sure he's been through that.
Not easy.
A lot.
Yeah, not easy. But I guess it's all worth it because the tournaments offered some fantastic matchups for fans. It's really a feast for football fans around the world. Fu Yu, let's start with Euro 2024.
Okay.
I have to say, I didn't expect Spain to be this good. They have been outstanding in the past month. I think since 2012, they have experienced a really long time of going downhill.
Yeah, because they were at the peak. They went through a golden age where they won 3 consecutive major titles.
Exactly. But after that, the retirement of the likes of Sergio Busquets, Sergio Ramos,
Iniesta.
Xavi Alonso, Xavi Hernandez, PK really made them lost, and they were struggling for quite some time. But this year, all of a sudden, they came back like from nowhere. So, what difference do you think they have made these years? I mean, it cannot be an overnight success.
Yeah, the biggest difference that I've noticed is that Spain has abandoned their tiki-taka, which they were known for in the age of all the players that we just mentioned. Instead they seem to focus on individual players and on these players honing their skills. So, like in the semifinal against France, a group of young players led by Lamine Yamal seemed to really take no sweat in shaking off the defense. They can do that with just a few shifts. So basically, one player completes that move, complete that task by himself, compared with in the age where they played tiki-taka, it takes a lot more players and a lot more passes. And also, this is something that Coach Luis de la Fuente prefers. He said something to the effect like he would like his players to shoot when they have an opportunity rather than to pass the ball around. And I think they executed that really well. And the result is a very efficient and clinical squad. And here by efficient, I mean both their tackles or their decisions on the pitch and the way that they advanced throughout this tournament, because Spain was in the group of death with all the other teams were just as strong, if not stronger, than Spain before this tournament started. So they advanced through that group relatively easy.
They won them all.
With a straight record. And I think that's incredible. And by the time that they get to the final, they've built up that confidence. And also these young players, they are just, it's only the tip of the iceberg. We only got a glimpse of what they can do, because for players such as Yamal, this is only their first experience at a major continental tournament, and there's still room to grow. And there are just still a lot of things that they need to work on. So I think we'll continue to see some surprises from this squad. And without tiki-taka, it's not like they may have struggled during the years beginning 2012 to this tournament because they never found the right recipe for their players.
Yeah, it's like previously they just knew how to play football just in tiki-taka style.
Yeah.
With short passes.
They won 3 titles, consecutive titles, like you said, based on this style. And it's like they have to later play tiki-taka just for the sake of playing tiki-taka.
Yeah, it's like it's the only way they know how to play football.
Yeah.
But what I've always believed is that you should adapt your tactics and change your on-pitch decisions based on the strength of the players rather than the other way around.
Yeah.
So this time with the new coach, with the young squad, they found that formula. And I think this will stick with them for a while.
Yeah, I think De La Fuente is a fantastic coach here because previously it's like the manager told the Spanish players, if you don't play tiki-taka, if you play one long pass, say goodbye to 10% of your salary. So yeah, I do think De La Fuente put the team together in one piece. I think Spain is the most balanced team in this year's Euro. They truly played as a team, not 11 individuals. I mean, I know everyone is talking about Yamal and Nico Williams. They are brilliant, but I think the rest of the team also deserved equal credits. The best example is the quarterfinal against Germany. I was totally convinced. After Spain took the lead, Yamal and Nico Williams was off to the bench. I think Spain wanted to keep that 1-0 lead to the end, but Germany struck back with a last-minute equalizer. Then I thought Spain now was without real attacking threats because Yamal and Williams are off.
The biggest threats are off.
Yeah, but they still managed to organize very quality attack up front. And it paid off with that extra time header.
Yeah, I think you make a great point there. It's another very important aspect. Not only are these players young and daring on the pitch, they are also willing to do the dirty work. They're willing to drop deep into defense rather than taking the credit all to themselves and just blindly shooting for goal. And I think that's something you really have to keep in mind in football, which is a team sport.
Yeah, everybody was hardworking throughout the tournament. I mean, it seems like with a completely different squad, the Spanish squad can still keep that quality. Their level never drops easily. But I guess with other teams, if they lose 1 or 2 key players, their quality could decline sharply. And for some teams, they may even collapse with absence of some top players. So that's the most impressive part I found in this Spanish team. Tianyu, I know you watched Spain's game as well. What's your impression about this team?
First of all, I think we can all agree that quarterfinal between Spain and Germany was probably the most thrilling games we ever watched of this year's Euro. Agree?
I think we can.
Last-ditch goals, of course, why not?
Yeah, it's like a rehearsal of the final. And sadly, Germany was the one who got eliminated.
Especially considering how ugly other top teams performed, like England and
like
France.
England. Yeah, but I think whoever got out of that quarterfinal, it would definitely be the biggest title contender. And talking about Spain, it seems like they have become a totally different team now since the start of the tournament. And just like Fu Yu mentioned, they have abandoned the tiki-taka playing style, which they have been quite well known for quite some time, which features a lot of ball possession and a lot of short passes, which tends to wear down the opponent's defense. But with the exit of Xavi, Iniesta, and Sergio Busquets, which have formed the foundation of the Spanish team in their prime, they have gradually come to terms with the fact that the tiki-taka style can no longer work well in the modern football games. So they want to seek to change. They want to focus on the ball possession like they used to, but instead they want to play more efficiently and pragmatically to cater to the tempo of current football matches. And now with the joining of the new blood players, like we said, Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal, they have successfully completed the transition without anyone noticing it.
I don't think Spain had those kind of players before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like the power play, the two-wing power play, right? So like we said previously, Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal have offered the team with a lot of vigor and speed. They have the creativity and, like Fuyu said, the courage to go on one-on-one with defenders, create spaces and opportunities, particularly Yamal. That goal against France was magnificent.
Yeah, stunning.
Yeah,
Hard to believe it's from only a 16-year-old.
I don't even know what I was doing when I was 16.
Yeah, it makes us feel so
doing
old.
homework. and also in the midfield, they still have a bunch of talents like Rodri, Fabian Ruiz, Dani Olmo, who can maintain a certain level of ball position and offer more control on the pace of the games. So, and don't forget, they've also got veterans like Dani Carvajal, Nacho, and Morata. And they can offer experience and stability on the squad and can always step up when the team needs them the most.
Yeah, it's a combination of experienced players and those vigorous young players.
Yeah.
It's a very good
Combination.
Very, very balanced squad. So
Yeah.
they've got equal strength on every aspect.
Yeah, but I don't think they totally abandoned tiki-taka. For some part of the game, you can still find they playing ball possession very efficiently, keeping the ball under their feet. I think against Germany, especially in the second half, they played ball possession game that Germany was... there was no way for Germany to get the ball for quite some time on the pitch. So I think they didn't abandon it, but they used it when they need to use it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's like they used tiki-taka as part of their tiki-taka's
Tactics.
part of the plan in their
Yeah,
bag,
yeah.
and they're not, compared with before, they're not obsessed with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of the weapons in their arsenal, but not the only weapon.
Yeah.
But enough compliments for Spain. Let's move on to Copa America. We have a final match here featuring Argentina against Colombia. Argentina, the defending Copa champion, not only the defending Copa champion, but the defending World Cup champion. Of course, they are the betting favorites here. But Fuyu, do you think Colombia can put up a fight? Because 8 years ago, Chile, as an underdog, they beat Argentina in the final through a
twice
penalty
in a row.
shootout. Yeah. So maybe Colombia can trigger something similar here?
Yeah, from what you just said, I agree that Argentina are the clear favorite going into this Copa America final. But I wouldn't just rule out Colombia for winning the title just yet. In my opinion, when you're in the final of such a big tournament, it's less about the skills or how many superstars you have in one team. Mentality and form also play an important part. And it's like when you get to the penalties of a football match.
Anything can happen, right?
Yeah. It's a little bit of everything. Like, of course, you have to maintain that high level of performance, and also the coach decisions, substitutions, a little bit of luck, and or sometimes even the condition of the pitch will play a part. Some things in the final of a major football tournament are just hard to explain. So anything can happen against in this game between Colombia and Argentina. And I'm someone who's always supported the clear underdog in a football match. So
You like dramas, right?
yeah, I just like to see a success story, just like
a black horse.
Inspiring stories.
like someone or some team beating the odds and getting there. It's
That's
inspiring.
inspiring.
Yeah, very inspiring to me. So I hope that this year Colombia will surprise us and make an unlikely hero at the Copa America. As for my expectations for this match, I know it's unlikely to happen, but I'd like to see a very open and aggressive game from both sides, and of course, as many goals as possible. If not that, I hope both teams can treat us in a penalty shootout.
Yeah, and it seems like we are on the same page because I definitely think Colombia has a chance here. They were playing consistently this month, and they got some real threatening attacking powers.
Luis Diaz.
Yeah, Luis Diaz. So my prediction here is 1-1 draw after extra time, and Colombia wins the penalty shootout. I know it's a wild guess. It's a wild guess, but it's possible. Tianyu, what do you think this game would go in your expectations?
Well, just like Brandon, I hate to talk about Argentina, but the truth is they have been doing quite well in this year's tournament. What surprised me the most about them is that it's not their attacking power, but their stable performance in defense, as they have only conceded 1 goal so far before the final. And I think that was largely thanks to the incredible performance by the center back duo of Romero and Lisandro Martinez. They are willing to make body confrontations and are very swift and decisive in their defense. And also Rodrigo de Paul and McAllister have also offered a lot of help in fighting for their ball possession. And so I think one of the biggest advantages of this Argentina squad is the depth of their team, with both veterans offering a lot of experience and young players providing creativity. Their finals opponent, Colombia, is also doing quite well. James Rodriguez, a former Real Madrid player and also former Bayern player. He always seems like a different player when he was playing for his home country, right? And I think Argentina is definitely, like Fuyi said, the hot favorite going to the final. But Colombia is such a resilient team, and I think they will cause a lot of trouble for their opponents with their tireless running and fierce tackling.
Yeah, I think they were down to 10 men in the semifinal against the Uruguay, but they maintained that lead to the end. It's a really resilient performance. But speaking of this final, I think everyone had been expecting a final between Argentina and Brazil. But unfortunately, Brazil was unexpectedly knocked out by Uruguay in the quarterfinals.
Exited too early.
Yeah, but if you take a look at their squad, they look pretty much good. I mean, Paquita, Vinicius Jr.,
Rodrigo.
Rodrigo, Rafinha, Marquinhos. But they didn't deliver their level. Fuyi, what happened to them? What does Brazil's exit tell you about this team?
I think the day that they went home was probably the darkest day in Brazil's history since their 7-1 loss at home to Germany.
I believe that 7-1 loss to Germany and home hosting World Cup is more devastating here. Sorry, Brazilian fans, but I know you don't want to hear this period of story, this history again, ever. But I'm just saying they had experienced something harder than this.
Yeah. you haven't heard me completely.
Okay. Continue.
The second half of my sentence was since their 7-1 loss at home to Germany. Of course, that's in the history of their football. And the early exit. I think if there's anything that we need to read or Brazil needs to learn from that is that they really need to start planning for a future without Neymar. Of course, Neymar's absence from this Copa America is not the only reason for their poor performance, but those young players and some of the names that you just mentioned are not quite there yet. Although some of them may already be the pillar at their clubs. Yeah, like Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo. Right. These players are the future, and from what they've been offering, we see a glimpse of the future, but there's a question of when that will arrive. And I think until they complete that transformation, until they step up, there will be some painful days ahead for Brazil's national team.
It's a process Brazil needs to go through, and they need to trust, just like how Spain went through that process. So maybe next World Cup we can see the Brazilian team performing better again.
Yeah, because an underperforming Brazilian squad just doesn't feel right, and a tournament in its later stages without Brazil, it always feels like it's missing something. So I really hope that process, it won't take Brazil as long as it did Spain, and I hope to see them back as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think the game format of Copa America also played a role in Brazil's exit, because after 90 minutes, the game went straight into penalty shootout. It definitely increased uncertainties, and Brazil, even they had one-man advantage, they didn't create many chances. They created few chances against Uruguay. It seems like their attacking magic was gone. So I think the Brazilians have no one else to blame but themselves for this loss.
Definitely.
This is the thing. I think if Brazil got knocked out because of defensive mistakes, then the fans would be like, okay, what can you do about it? But if Brazil lost the game,
create chances.
Yeah, because of the lack of creativity up front, that's the big issue, right?
Yeah.
It's inexcusable, almost a crime in Brazil. You can't score. So Tianyu, what's your impression about Brazil's exit?
Early. Yeah, like you guys just said, after watching their games, honestly, I don't see any highlights in this Brazilian team. The absence of Neymar, like Fuyu mentioned, really took a heavy toll on this team. If you're watching Euro 2024 and Copa America at the same time, you may find Spain has even more elements of samba football than Brazil does.
That's a good point,
Yeah, you don't see a single element of samba in their games. There's no creativity, no combinations, and no speed and power. Vinicius Junior seems to be the only man who can be the source of vigor and creativity in the front for Brazil. But after he got that really unnecessary, foolish yellow card when playing against Colombia, he couldn't make it to the quarterfinal against Uruguay. And in that game against Uruguay, Brazil played like a disaster. Endrick is too young to be counted on, and Rodrigo seems not playing very comfortably when he was as he didn't get the same level of support as he got when he was playing for Real Madrid. And I think a lack of emerging players, star players, is probably the crux of Brazil's problem.
Interesting you just compared Spain with Brazil. As I said, it's a dream summer for football fans, Copa America plus Euro 2024. For me, I just can't help comparing two styles of football, European football and the South American football, when we watch the two tournaments. For you, are there any differences about the two styles of football when you watch the two tournaments?
Yeah, sure, there are still differences, although they're both moving toward the same direction, because a lot of the South American players are playing in European elite
clubs.
clubs and
Leagues.
elite leagues. So the European tournament feels like a collection of sophistication and superstars. I'm not saying that Copa America doesn't have superstars or is not sophisticated. By comparison, the Euro is just I don't know how to put it. It's like something that's already there,
They have a system.
the
like-
You
players
can
are
expect.
the players are all grown and they've all developed, and you just, it's very direct and simple. You just watch them and enjoy their style. I really like how one Chinese blogger puts it. He says that the Euro is like a boreal forest where every tree looks the same, and their prowess is determined only by their size. And
Right.
at Copa America, it's a rainforest where there are all
kinds
different
of
kinds
trees.
of vegetation, and they're all vying for the same resources with their individual strength. So I think that's a very good way of
Yeah.
putting it.
Yeah, I like that comparison,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like it and I agree with it. Personally, if you ask me to make a comparison or an analogy, I would say that there are a lot of diamonds in the rough at Copa America, and at Euro there are polished diamonds, but you keep discovering new facets.
Right. I think South American football and the European football, they are in the same trajectory of modern football. I think some teams in South America, they play just like European teams play. But this year, I noticed some really, as I said, ugly games. But like England and France, they really, I would not say play just for the glory, but they play more pragmatically.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong. Yeah,
At least
I
for
agree.
me, I'm a result-oriented person. I don't care how you get there. The important thing is that you get there.
Yeah, but meantime, in South America, I noticed more wild and open games.
A lot more raw and unpolished styles.
Yeah, that's true. Tian, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think in terms of intensity of the game, Copa America has been better because I think that's because of the differences in the rules. Because in Copa America, the team who ranks third will get eliminated at once. But while in Europe Cup, in Euro 2024, you still have a chance if you are ranking third in your group, you still have a chance in advancing to the knockout stage. And also there's no extra time in Copa America, while a lot of the games in Euro 2024 can drag on for over 120 minutes, like you said, the likes of England, France. And they are not known for their notoriously long games. And also there are more body confrontations and tackling in the American tournament. However, in terms of the number of football talents and the level techniques and competitiveness, I agree with you. I think I would say Euro wins in that respect because there are literally no weak teams in Europe, and every team can create some amazing upsets. We've seen the likes of Austria and Switzerland doing incredibly well at this year's tournament, while in Copa America it's always or at most four teams competing for the final title.
It's always fascinating to compare those two kinds of football. I think in the foreseeable future, the CONMEBOL UEFA Cup of Champions, the match between European champions and the South American champions will tell more general picture of the differences of two footballs. And of course, in 2 years, we will have the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The top teams will go again for the top honor, and it will be full of stories, fascinating stories. But that's it for this edition of Sideline Story. Thank you so much for joining us. For more information, you can check our website, radio.cgtn.com. Until next time, see you.
This is CGTN Radio. Hear the difference.